and welcome to a what sold video. This is everything that sold for me on not live selling platforms from November 22nd to November 30th, so the last little bit of November. And I say it this way because I actually have a Mercari sale. Of all the platforms to get a sale on, Mercari surprised me. I literally thought they were sending me an email to tell me if you list more, you can get this dollar coupon, which I never bother with because of how little sales I have received on Mercari. But no, it was a sale and I sold this item that I was also considering taking to a buy sell trade store because I've had it in my inventory for such a long time. This was a women's small Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is a TV show on Disney Plus, for $10. And they paid $4.99 to deliver it. So they paid me my full price and I finally sold this item. I think I have had this probably for like 2 years now. I thought that it was new with tags, so it would sell pretty quickly, and I was wrong. But it did sell and it sold for my full asking price. So good job, Mercari. So now we're gonna switch over here. I've already moved Miss Moxie and we're gonna talk about eBay because eBay is the main bag. And I sold this new trade paperback from Penguin, one of Nietzsche's works. If you don't know who Friedrich Nietzsche is and don't want to be depressed, just continue to live that life. He is a philosopher. I do have a minor in philosophy, which is why I know who he is. I've read several of his treatises. Sold for my full asking price of $14.87. And again, this came from that big book buyout I did. And the reason why it sold for $14.87 is because it's a brand new book. I paid 10 cents for it. Made 10 bucks. Amazing. This I actually offered on Whatnot for $2 and nobody bought it. So I sold it on eBay about a month later for $15.19. I sent off offers to watchers for I think 20% off and somebody immediately bought it. And they paid for shipping. This was a Jason Mraz piece. It was a unisex large crew neck, holiday themed. Totally thought someone would have picked this up on Whatnot, but perfectly happy to make way more money on eBay. But I, again, was trying the bins experiment and perfectly happy to list the stuff that didn't sell on Whatnot. This is from Thriftmas. I picked this up at the thrift store, the little hole-in-the-wall thrift store by Christopher Newport University. I figured I would try these and they sold almost instantly. This is Savannah Secrets, which is not sold in a regular bookstore. It is a Guidepost. Guidepost is a religious website, and these are all like religious themed romance mystery novels. And this lot sold for $16.87, and I paid a total of $2 for all of the books here. So again, made 10 bucks very quickly and pretty happy with that. Another set of figs, again with the 4 square. I love listing this way when it's a set. So this is the Hydro Green set, which is a colorway that they don't offer very often on figs. They currently don't offer this. I did actually list this higher than the other sets of figs, but when I got a semi-reasonable offer, I was like, you know what? Yes, you can have this. Again, I paid $11 for it, sold for $33. Happy to move them very quickly. This is a Donald Trump tie. I will pick up his ties, especially the red, blue, and gold power ties. Like those 3 colors specifically do really well in his ties. I normally pay $3 or less for ties, and this sold for $13, and of course the buyer paid for shipping. I love reselling ties. Again, you do you and your business, but for me personally, if I get them for $3 or less, I am very picky with my ties. But they take up almost no space in my inventory. Like they take up the space of my fist, which, you know, is different for everybody. But I have tiny hands. I have like Burger King hands. If you've seen those commercials, I have little baby hands. I'm a tall woman, but I have my little Japanese grandmother hands. And so yeah, I will happily pick those up because they take up no space and you can't like ruin them in the post, and they ship for less than 4 ounces. So I just think they're great. This is a new copy of Contest. It is a Pan paperback. Pan is a UK/Australian publisher. And this is from Matthew Riley, which I believe is an Australian author. And so I kept a copy and then I sold one. This sold for my full asking price of $11.87. And this is a brand that nobody talks about. This is Jamie Sadok. I do pick these up when I find them for $5 or less. This is a golf brand that makes, well, they make all kinds of clothing, but they specialize in these loud prints. And the louder the print, the faster it's gonna sell for. And this one sold for $19.44, and I paid $4 for this at a thrift store. Also from the Thriftmas, the same place I got those guidepost books, I picked this up. This is just a cute little pop-up book that I had nostalgia feels for, and I was like, I can't leave you behind, especially since all of the pop-ups were in perfect shape. It's from the 80s, sold immediately for my full asking price of $9.87, and I paid nothing for this because this was one of the free books. So this thrift store does buy one, get one free, so this is technically a free book. Also from that same thrift store, this is Pride and Prejudice. This was a Dalmatian Press Collector's Edition, so it was a leather-bound edition. This sold on an offer for $19.68. I got a watcher immediately. I sent a 10% off offer. They immediately purchased it. So this was great. I had 3 books that I thought maybe I would sit on for a little bit, all sold within like 24 hours of me listing them, which almost never happens, and they sold before I even put the video out, which also hardly ever happens. So really happy about that. I guess like my book sense was tingling that day. This is a brand of scrubs that I will also pick up along with Figs. They sell roughly just maybe slightly less than Figs do, and not quite as fast, but it's Jaanu, so Jaanuu. I mean, you can read. But this is a pair of blue jogger pants, and they were size medium, and they sold for $15 on an offer. I was like, yes. I actually picked up 2 pairs of these, and the first ones had already sold, so this was the second one to sell, and I picked those up actually last Thriftmas, so I've had them for a while. This is a piece I picked up at the Restore in Williamsburg. I just thought it was really cute. It was just this little like tiny framed, it was like a little micro painting from the 70s, and it was framed in this really big frame, and it had like a cute little inscription from the person. It was like an aunt and uncle giving a gift, I guess maybe to a child's nursery, I don't know. It was just cute. I knew it was from the 70s because of the inscription on the back of the frame. It was very, it was just adorable. It was very cottagecore. I paid $2 for this. It sold for $7. I had it for a while. I hung it in my house. Like I said, I have a maximalism wall of all the artwork that I'm waiting to sell from my eBay store, and it just sits there. It's like my wall of potential money, which makes it the fact that it's like art from all different eras and also like different styles, it just is very funny to me. Plus my own art that I keep up there. It's just an interesting way to store stuff that doesn't take up any space other than wall space that's already going to be blank. So that is how I do that, and I'm just happy that this little 70s piece didn't end up in the landfill. This is a hat I picked up at the bins, so I paid, you know, less than $1 for it. It is from the Y2K era. It is like this, it was like quintessential, like if you wore like this hat and you had like a really thin scarf, and then you had like 2 super low V-neck shirts that you layered, or a cami, like a long cami, and then like a low V-neck shirt that had like lace on it, and this hat, and a pair of ultra low rise jeans where if you bent down everybody could see your thong. That is Y2K style. And not the conglomeration of 90s and Y2K that is currently going on. That's true Y2K style. But yeah, I sold this. Like I said, I paid less than $1 for it, so I'm sure I just like gave horror flashbacks to some people. But yeah, this is what's on trend right now. That is actual Y2K style. That's not quite how Gen Z is styling it right now, but that's what it was truly. This is the actual book. So last video I shared the companion book sold, but I actually picked up the companion book and the actual book together, but instead of selling them as a set, I split them, and the actual book sold for $17.87 with free shipping, because I do free shipping on all my books, with the understanding that I have buy 3 books, get 1 free, and the hope is that they'll buy more than just 1 book, but if they don't, I still make a profit. So I paid 50 cents for this book, and it sold for $17.87. Another vintage book, but I picked this up at the bins. This is a vintage kids book. If you can find vintage children's books, beautifully illustrated from the 40s, 50s, and 60s that don't have any like gum on them or inscriptions in them, like "To Little Jimmy, Love Grandma," or colored in, they can be worth money. I mean, this is only $8 and I paid shipping for it, but some of them can be worth like, you know, $25 to $50. It just depends on the subject matter and the illustrator. Because, you know, not a whole lot of these have lasted without, you know, having experienced a child's love. So it sold for $8. The book is Toby the Zebra and the Lost Zoo from 1963. This is a brand new book, again from that big book buyout. This is Joseph Conrad, who wrote The Heart of Darkness, and this sold for $6.69. Another one of those patches sold, which is exciting, and this one sold for my full asking price. I have noticed that if I do a multi-quantity listing, that it almost takes forever to get the first sale, but once you get that first sale, then like the rest follow. I don't know what it is that people are like nervous about that first one, but once you've shown that you've sold a bunch of them, then like I guess it just has more buyer's confidence. But this sold for $6.87, and I actually only paid 63 cents to ship this to the buyer because I can do eBay standard envelope with this, which is amazing. Super happy they're selling now because I've been holding on to them for a while. Granted, they take up 3 by 3 inch space that's about, you know, an inch thick. So it's not like it's been, my house is about ready to fall down because I'm under the weight of them, but it's been a while. This is a vintage 90s piece. I think I picked this up at the bins as well, so you know I have less than $1 into it. It is a silver pleated metallic mini skirt. Sold it for $10. Perfectly happy to see that move. This is a full price sale from the Vig set, so you can see how beautiful my four-way layout looks like. And this is the deep reef color. Again, whenever I get a set of figs, I do look at their website to see what the current colorways are, to see if I can figure out which of the colors it is, because people do look by specific colors. So if you can get as much information in there as possible, the name of the style of shirt or pants that you're doing and the color, it does help in the search results. Sold for my full asking price of $44.87, and again I paid $11 for the set. Another one of those vintage children's books I also got at the bins the same day I got the zebra book, which is a weird coincidence because both of those I picked up a long time ago. So this one sold, I also paid 50 cents for it. And then this person actually, instead of like getting 2 more books and would have gotten one for free, only got 2 books. And then they bought a brand new copy of Thomas Mann's Death in Venice. So it sold for $14.74, and then those listings had been so old that Cinderella book actually still had shipping on it. So I actually made, you know, I paid 60 cents total, and then they had to pay for shipping. So I basically made, you know, $14 off of this, which is, again, I love books. And books don't really have a season, so it's kind of like my evergreen, like you have evergreen content on YouTube, it's like my evergreen, evergreen stock in my store. And then this is a Hofbrauhaus München shirt, another item that I thought about taking to the buy sell trade store, but it actually sold for $6.91. Apparently I just need to think that I'm going to take it to a buy sell trade store or donate it, and then it's going to sell. This actually got for free from my friends Carolyn and Arnie, so if you were watching, thank you very much. I'm very happy to have found a new home for this, and I appreciate you guys donating your stuff to me. This is before the Bronco Fund, so this is actually just gonna go, you know, to sustaining me instead of the Bronco, which, you know, is roughly the same. And the last sale I have to share with you is another new book. Again, I paid 10 cents for this. It sold for $13.87, and yeah, it's about Abraham Lincoln. Cool. Again, the only reason why the books that I bought on this big book buyout is, 1, I'm only paying 10 cents for them, and 2, they're all brand new. So that is why I'm able to get some of the prices I am, is because they're new books. If they were not new, I would have not picked them up even at 10 cents. Or a lot of them I wouldn't have picked up even at 10 cents. So that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all are having great sales of your own. Miss Moxie thanks you for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Bye. Hero, 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 hero. I wanna be a hero, hero.